The last hearing was on 16 July 2024. Court again said that you have to please give money to the states which have issued additional cards, ration cards. But there's no room in the budget for this. There is no allocation. In this rush to protect its own chair, the government is making a very dangerous mistake, which is it's not giving enough to protect our borders. Military experts have repeatedly warned us that India's military capability has to be modernized because we are fighting on two fronts. One is against China, we need a dissuasive deterrent. Against Pakistan, we need an offensive deterrent. The budgetary allocation for defense in this budget is 6.22 lakh crores. This is a marginal decrease of 2,000 crores compared to revised budget estimates. We have reduced it by 2,000 crores. This year's allocation, the budget defense allocation, is 1.9% of GDP. This is the lowest since 1960. The lowest. Despite many economic constraints, past governments had always given close to 3% of GDP, which is the universal norm for defense. Over the last decade, ever since this government's been in power, it's been hovering around 2%. We have been unable as a government to compel China to restore status quo ante-April 2020 on the line of actual control. We have been unable to deter Pakistan. In the last 2 months alone, over 50 security personnel and about 10 civilian pilgrims have been killed in Jammu. Capital expenditure on military equipment, 1.7 lakh crores. On paper, this shows that it's almost a 10% increase. What we haven't taken into consideration is this increase was largely due to Russia's inability to supply contracted weapons to us because of the Ukraine war. If we take into account inflation and we take into account the rising dollar rate, we're almost flat. The gap between projections made by the armed forces and between actual allocation is 17 to 23%. That's the gap. कुर्सी बचाने में आप मस्त है, देश को भी देखिए. We need close to 3%, 2.5 to 3% of GDP to defense. This is something that the country needs to look at. The Honorable Finance Minister started off her speech by talking about the focus on Annadata or farmers and how much this government has done for farmers. The Economic Survey of 24 says 42.3% of Indians depend on agriculture. That's 600 million people, that's 60 crore people. If I looked at the economic survey, 22nd July, very carefully. What did the headline say? The headline says, agricultural sector has registered an annual average growth rate of 4.18% in the last 5 years. But then I needed to read and read and read, and in the fine print was written that last year was only 1.4%. So 4.18 over last 5 years is anyway, when you compare it to inflation, is nothing. But when you compare last year's growth of only 1.4%, what is it saying for 60 crore of our people who depend on farming? Productivity and resilience in agriculture was one of the first themes, priority number 1, according to the Finance Minister's budget. She had made 9 priorities. This was priority 1. But the provision for agriculture and allied sectors is only 1,52,000 crores. Whereas the provision for one bullet train from Ahmedabad to Mumbai is 1,08,000 crores. Please look at the comparisons, everybody. Priority 2, Finance Minister said, is employment and skilling. This government has got the worst track record of creating jobs. India has more jobs in the informal sector, not in the formal sector. The budget is talking of an internship program with the top 500 companies. This is a joke. The top 500 companies employ 70 lakh people in total. That is 1% of the total workforce. Our workforce is about 57 crores. You are expecting companies which have a total which employ 70 lakh people to give employment to 1 crore interns. Please let us know how this is going to happen. I'm really curious. The real problem is somewhere else. The real problem is that 10.3 crore youth have basically become so dejected, they have given up looking for jobs. The Finance Minister, she mentions skilling loans, she mentions education loans. Skilling loans are for 25,000 people, education loans are for 1 lakh people. The country has 140 crore people. Now, what are we doing? Priority 3, according to the Finance Minister, inclusive human resource development and social justice. In this section, the budget says, first on Bihar, we will support expressways. What you're not saying is that you will make expressways which will charge very high tolls. So you are recovering the money, you're not doing anyone a favor. You're charging back-breaking tolls. You might give another bridge which might collapse.
Yes.
You will set up another power plant, which like Jharkhand may also be outsourced to a favorite businessman.
Correct.
He can be given a nice juicy PPA and sell more imported coal. Secondly, on Andhra, there are no grants, but only loans, that too from multilateral agencies. So basically, dollar loans will be given to Andhra Pradesh, which future generations will have to pay back with interest. There was also another sweeping statement. Grants for backward regions of Rayalaseema, Prakasam and North Coastal Andhra, as stated in the Act, will be provided. I looked in the entire demand for grants with a tooth comb, with a microscope. And I looked at the expenditure budget. Nothing was provided anywhere. I don't see the intelligent people of Andhra being fooled by this. Priority 4, manufacturing and services. The finance minister has devoted an entire section on how MSMEs are a priority.